I made a video on this subject the other day, and I've decided that I'm going to take it down and change it because I've decided to approach this in a different way. This is my orange wood Dana Mini, Dana S. And I was told that these have laminated tops, but this is one of the older ones, and this one has a solid top. I looked under the top here and found that this grain is exactly the same underneath. So this is a solid top. It's a good sounding little guitar, and I've got a set of tens on it right now. My wife Irene painted that beautiful rose there on the headstock, so I took the name Orangewood off, and that's a beautiful little guitar. It's like I said, it's one of the first ones that came out. I think I bought it about 5 or 6 years ago for $125, and I have since also made a bone nut for it. I put stainless steel frets in it and a new bone saddle that was radiused better, and I've got a K&K pickup in there. Now what this video has to do with is finding a way to modify the bridge area so that you get better tone on an acoustic guitar. So the first thing I did yesterday when I started this project was I took these bridge slot saws, I increased the break angle, that's what I'm trying to say, here of the string over the saddle. And when I did that, the guitar did get louder, had more tone, more sustain and everything, because the strings now have a better break angle over the saddle. So you'd normally do this with straight pins that don't have a slot in them, but you can do it with your slotted pins if you just simply turn them around. So I just turned them around, used the unslotted side of the pin, and I slotted the bridge instead. So the string comes up through the bridge at a better break angle. I'm thinking that once I install this tone tube that I'm going to put in there, that I'll have even a better break angle, because with this was the original idea that I got from a guy who sells these as a tone bar. It's a 1/16 brass wire is what I used, that you loop the strings onto. This is what I'm using for this one. It is a brass tube, so you can just call it a tone tube, I guess. The ends of mine are not going to be curled up. And this is just something that I'm going to experiment with and see if it increases the tone and sustain. So I'm going to be using 2 sets of strings for this. I'm going to be using the D'Addario 11 to 52 phosphor bronze EJ26 strings. I'm going to put a fresh set on and not change a thing with the way the guitar is now, just with these pins in here. And we're going to do sound checks with that. And then I'm going to put another set on. And this is the way I like to do it, because there's something about taking strings on and off a guitar a few times that changes the tone. I don't know. Maybe you think it doesn't, but I think a fresh set of strings for each test would be really the way to go. So I'm going to go with new strings for the test with the pins and new strings for a test with the tone tube. One thing I did note on this was that the tube is lighter than the bar. This is a rod of brass. This is a hollow tube. It's a 1/16 inch hollow tube. I'm going to be putting that in there for the string balls to attach to, and they're going to go right up against the bridge plate directly, and there will be no pins when I make this mod. All right, with the pins in, normal stringing, All right, with the bridge pins in, no tone tube. Now for some bar chords. So I have my string balls attached to my tube here, and I've got tape to hold them in place while I pull them through, and then hopefully I can pull the tape off in there. Should take a look inside there. There's my brass tube, and there are the string balls on it securely. I still have to take that tape off and get the wires out of the way. This is difficult to do, by the way. You know, you got to find a way to keep them on that bar, and it's difficult changing. All right, with my tone tube in there, no bridge pins, acoustic. Plugged in with the tone tube. So what are the results? Well, I'll let you listen to those clips with earbuds, and then maybe you'll be able to come to your own conclusions about it. Maybe you won't agree with me, but I think that it sounds better. It sounds clearer. It seems like the tones were also sweeter, warmer, a little bit deeper. And maybe my mic can't pick that up. Maybe it's just the way I hear it. I've got a K&K pickup in there. That's what you heard. No battery, passive pickup. And as far as the string balls for this thing, this one here in number 6 is not able to seat. I didn't make the groove big enough. I didn't take into consideration that I'm going to have string tie coming up through there. So I'm going to have to make that groove deeper for both 5 and 6. Increase the width of the string slot so that it'll tuck under there a little better and equal the break angle I've got over here. But everything does seem to sound quite balanced nevertheless. Or I might just leave it that way. I don't know. One of the things I want to find out when I take that tube out of there is whether or not the strings, because it's a tube instead of a bar, whether or not the strings have left a see, you can see the little hole in that. It's hollow. Whether or not the strings have left little indentations on that bar, and if they have, then I'll know exactly where the string ball should be when I pull it out and go to restring the guitar. So I'm hoping that'll be a benefit of using the tube. The bar is what I used at first, and it did sound better with the bar, and it does sound better with the tube. So which one it sounds better with, I don't think there's much of a difference really. And of course, anytime you take material off of a bridge and make it lighter, the top will resonate more. This is why it's good to use the lightest string pins you can get. Usually ebony will sound the best because they're light, but these pins add up to some weight. You got 6 plastic pins there, and of course this is a little heavier than a 3-inch tube. So I'm thinking that that might be the way to go, since this is lighter. Might make a difference in resonance, I would think. And over here I'll show you where I got these. I got a brass rod and a brass tube here and a 1/16 inch. Picked them up from Ace Hardware if you'd like to try this project yourself. All right, well, thanks for watching, and you guys have a real good day.